This is week number, what week are we in? Week number 10, class number 11. No, class number 9, week number 10. Week number week 10, class 9. I always get these things mixed up because it doesn't align anymore. Um, so welcome everybody. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to continue using Figma today as the application going forward, as I mentioned last class. I will also discuss the group projects that are going to be assigned to you, as well as the remaining assignment. So let's get started, okay? Here we go. And let me know if you can see my screen okay, those of you at home. Can you see my screen? I just need a thumbs up from someone. Okay, very good. Thank you. And I'll close my Teams down and let's look at Blackboard first. Okay, so as we're approaching the end of the semester, I mean, it is pretty much a reality now. We're entering, we're almost, well, it's the second week of July. We're heading toward, well into the last, I guess, 5 weeks remaining. It's going to be really exciting going forward. I really encourage you to invest all the time that you have in school now. Put all your focus, put your best foot forward, as they say. You're not going to get these moments back, so enjoy them. Have some fun at the same time. Make this a nice user experience for yourself. And I'm talking in general, this whole semester, not just my class, of course. So here's some of the new things that I added here. First of all, the YouTube channel is always updated. Sometimes it takes a while for those videos to be uploaded and screened by YouTube and released and stuff. So I do my best to get them as fast as I can. So if you do click on that, you should be able to access all the videos up to date. For example, I think there'll be 2 videos going forward for each lesson. So last week there was week 9, part 1 and part 2. Okay, so you can watch those videos. We did do we wrapped up UX in, I should say, Adobe XD in the first part because I wanted to introduce some more advanced components and other things you can add to your project that's due today, which is that interactive presentation and just a basic iPad presentation that we did. It's just so we have a value or a grade for XD. And the rest of the 2 projects will be for Figma, of course. We did start with the Figma basics after that. All right, so today we're going to continue, and I'm going to basically show you how to create a basic mobile app in Figma, like a simple design, and then we'll do like a desktop as well, because the next assignment that you have is a desktop UI kit for your portfolio. I know you guys are doing a portfolio website, and I did decide not to give you another portfolio project for this class. Instead, you'll do a group project. And just to recap what happened last semester, we did the group project with them as well, but they also did a portfolio, right? For you guys, you did a presentation instead in XD, which completed that grade rubric, and all you have left is a group project, which is for last, which is better. I think it's a nicer fit, and I think it's going to be fun finishing the semester. All right, so I'm going to introduce that to you as well. We're going to talk about it, and then we'll start with the exercise as well. All right, now here's the group members link for the project. So what I want you to do as soon as possible is list the people that you're willing to work with. I'm going to let a maximum of 3 people. Ideally, I would like to see pairs, like 2, and I always have the odd person. That's why I let 3 go sometimes, because that was possible. When I had a big group last semester, I had a group of 4, and that was a little too much, I think. It was too much because there's too many people doing too many things. It gets a little too confusing. So I think the 3 people, 2 or 3 is perfect. Okay. And of course, I have the lone wolves, and maybe they're not in the country or they can't really work. They have a different schedule. They do their own thing. I prefer you don't work by yourself. I'm going to make sure I place you in a group if I see the people that are remaining, and this way everybody gets paired up. Okay, so that's my recommendation. If you click on this link, it's going to open up a Google spreadsheet. Okay, so this is where you can go ahead and type your names here. Okay, your names of your group members. So let's say you would put, John, right? John, Annie. Oh, give me your last name as well, because there might be two Johns or another, right? And Karen. Okay, so just give me the names. Okay, maybe your first name, last name is good. Research and planning. Who is going to do that part? Okay, because this project is going to be split up into different types of deliverables and responsibilities. So here you would put, for example, John is going to do the research and planning. The wireframe and prototyping is going to be Annie and Karen. Okay. Now you can also mix the roles up a little bit, but I want to see you specialize in one or the other. And that doesn't say that John can't do any of this stuff. Absolutely. John's going to help with the Figma files as well. But he's going to mostly be in charge of the research and planning, or maybe he can do, John and Annie can do a little bit of that too. Okay. Either way, I want to see some responsibility asserted in different areas. Okay. Wireframing and prototyping is the big component of the delivery of the project. It involves you planning out the whole structure, the whole layouts, and the delivery, which is the execution of the prototype. So this is how I want to see maybe by the end of the week. So today's Wednesday. So tomorrow's Thursday. By Friday on the weekend, I got to get the groups ready. So next class, when I see you, we got to get this thing rolling through. Okay. So I'm going to delete Annie, Karen, and John. I believe there's no such names in this class. So it's going to be all blank. And that's that. Anonymous mandate. I don't know what this is. Okay, so I'm going to close these down. All right. So again, this link here is available for you to access from the main Blackboard portal when you access my class. The virtual class link, of course, is what we're doing right now when you can't make it to class. UX UI YouTube, that's our YouTube channel that keeps track of all our video lectures. And this is the group members link for this project. So everything is up top, easy to find. And the rest of the stuff pretty much is over here. So if you go down right now, we're down to the second last module, which is the interaction design principles. And this is when we get into the main mechanics of the applications. Before we did XD, now we're segueing to Figma. So it's going to be a Figma two-part deliverable, okay? So the first one you're going to do, okay, is an interactive UI kit for a desktop portfolio website. I know you're doing already a portfolio website. I don't want you to do all not. I don't want you to create a whole website for me. Just a splash page, just how the main page, what you want it to look like. But you might put some buttons, some rollover, some images. Just do a nice layout, just to get familiar with Figma, because you're going to use Figma for two things: designing something for the mobile app, or designing a prototype for a website. The tablet, sure, maybe that too, but I don't want to overwhelm you with too many things. So let's just do a desktop prototype website in Figma. Okay. You already did the tablet in XD. So that was that format. This is going to be this format. And the final project, which is the group mobile app, it's going to be an app project. Okay. This way you're covering all angles with this. So you can say, you know what? I did a tablet prototype in XD. You did a desktop prototype in Figma, and you did a mobile app group project in Figma as well. So all three. All right. So let's take a look at the first item. This is due on the 24th. So in 2 weeks, I do expect you to have this finished. Now at the same time, we're also going to start this project. So you're going to kind of overlap a little bit, okay? Which is okay. Because right now you're already working on your portfolio. So you already have your assets and all the stuff you're collecting to put things together. Doesn't matter if this matches your website. I mean, ideally it should, but if it looks different, that's okay, right? That's okay. I just want to see you get an idea to get started, right? Maybe this will help you. Just a one page, just a simple layout of a splash page. Because honestly, a lot of websites sometimes are one long page. If you want, I'll show you some of my previous student portfolio websites too. Do you want to see some? I'll show you some samples. Sorry? One page, just a design. It's like a template for your, it's like going to be a UI kit / web page. You know what I mean? Just so you have an idea what it's going to look like. And you'll do a rough draft. Like I want to see you do like a little sketch or something, maybe a wireframe in Illustrator if you want, or Figma, and then do the prototype in Figma. Okay, the last version. Then you're gonna do a little UI kit like the buttons, the switches, the slideshow things, elements, all that. And the next big one, your last project, is the mobile app group project. Based on this link that I have here, okay, the group members link, once you click on that, I already see here Vincent, Adelaide, and Victor. So nice to see the group's already building up. So once this is filled up and it's dynamic, I can see it live. We're well on our way to establish this project. So I'll talk about it a little bit, but next week I'll talk about it more and more as we get closer to the group assertion. So this is a group assignment, maximum 3 persons per group. For this project, you're to participate in a group and execute a prototype for a mobile application. Okay. So what this is basically is, it's a truck mobile project handout, a truck service mobile prototype. This was just an idea I had back in the days when we were doing different prototypes. It was just like a basic theme. If you want to come up with a different theme, that's okay. I'll show you some other group projects that I got from other students. They did like, a health wellness app. Some did a dog walking app. Uh, some did a fitness app, different app, meditation app, right? Music app. You can make all kinds of apps. Doesn't have to be truck. Okay. I just put that in there so you have unless you have no ideas, you can do like a truck service app as well. Okay. So this is just based on that particular scenario, like a make up shift scenario. Okay, so for this project, you will be designing your very own mobile app design prototype. Start implementing it on paper first. So whoever's in charge of this, I want to see some rough thumbnails. Look, I know a lot of stuff is online now. I know a lot of you guys you can download icons, you can download prototypes and stuff. So that's not going to help you learn how to do this. What's going to help you learn is doing it from scratch. And I want to see how that's done. So you got to prove to me, because I got to see evidence that you did it from the ground up. Okay. I don't want to, because if I just look at a design, I'll be like, how do I know you did it? It's not that I don't trust you. It's just how things are these days. We have to be careful with what we're getting from every individual. Okay. So please make sure you deliver the requirements that I'm asking you to do. Okay. So you will then produce a high fidelity. So first, a low fidelity mock-up, which is like wireframes, outlines and stuff. Then you're going to produce a high fidelity mock-up and digitize the interface design in Adobe XD. I do apologize. I have to update this to Figma, so please ignore that. Okay, I will change this. I got to update this handout. I thought I did. I guess it didn't update the new one. It still went to the old one. Give me like tonight. I'll update it. Okay. So please remember that, which will be later prototyped and tested by your team and myself. You may also use other supported applications for the interface design. If you want to use Illustrator and Photoshop to help you, that's fine. But with Figma, you can't. You can only export separate assets. So with XD, you could have, not with Figma. The app will be intended for truckers all around North America to find the nearest service station via their routes. As our economy and food supply heavily relies on the transportation industry, it is imperative that these 18-wheelers maintain their service. Here's an example of an existing website app that offers a similar service, so you may introduce a similar prototype or create one totally different. This was a one that actually, it's called findtruckservice.com. Okay, so if you click on that link and you paste it here, you see how already there's something out there that does this. Find your nearest service. It's not easy for these truck drivers to find service, right? It's not like a small car, right? So if their truck breaks down, they need to fix the truck. So they need an app to help them do that. Okay. Now again, you don't have to do this. You can do something different. This is just an idea that I have to go with to show you the details, right? Go ahead. So I do have a minimum requirement of that. Okay. I'll have to update the handout, but I think I had a maximum of, not a maximum. I think a minimum of at least, I think 12 minimum, minimum 12, minimum 12.
Those so I need to show in the app, right?
The trip of the truck driving. Not necessarily. You can if you want. Like a makeup scenario, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do that, that's fine. Yeah. But see, when you see the app itself, it'll just work like an app, right? Click on the logo, find the service station, looking for tires, looking for booking appointments, calendar, different ways you can.
Like we are selling truck parts or we are getting truck services like you are getting if you are like a truck owner, right? Owner operator or you are a driver. So this is for the owner operators or only for the drivers?
The owner operator could be the driver too.
Yeah, but like owner
So,
operators is like who's owning their own truck, but drivers are like the company drivers. They
so,
own,
so honestly, drivers. Because if you're driving a truck and you break down the truck, you need to service it right away.
yeah,
Okay. So you're a driver. So in this case, what do you need service? Let's see here. Location, right? We're going to go use my location. Now, this is a US based app, so it's not going to work in Canada. It looks going to go to New York, right? Repair shops, mobile repair, towing service, right? So you can play with this app if you want to see what happens. And this is how it works. And again, if I make this into like an app version, it should look like this, right? There's all these service stations that came across. So if I click on this one, okay, you can contact them, you can rate them, you can access them. This becomes like a drop-down menu. I think there's an app as well. You can download the app. This is the website, not the app, but it looks similar to the apps. You have to look at the app to see what I mean. So it's an example for you to explore and to look at. Again, you don't have to do this theme. Want to make a yoga app? Whatever, okay, it's different. That's fine. But the same principles apply. So here's what you're going to do. Research. Like I said, that's why there's 3 people, 2 or 3 people per group. So the person that's in charge of the research, it can, you need to understand the client's business basically. So doing market research, like how will this app benefit that particular industry or market, right? Demographics, understand their positioning in the market and what type of design is suitable for them, right? Then you have the sitemap. You will create a visual sitemap that displays the hierarchy of the pages. Like the sitemap. Have you guys done a sitemap before for a website? Right, so that's very important. I'll show you what a sitemap looks like. Look, this is a sitemap right here. But without this, it's very hard to build anything. So you have to show me a sitemap of your app, and now it's going to work as well. Okay, that's what a sitemap is. Wireframe. You will need to wireframe the key pages, outline for your architecture. These wireframes should be high fidelity and built in Adobe Illustrator or XD. So again, I'm gonna have to change this to Figma, okay? So please give me some time to change this last type, but at least you have the gist of it. And finally is the prototype. The final component of your proposed is an interactive, high fidelity prototype. Should include your full proposed design, animation, interaction, okay, links, buttons, all that stuff. It'll be built again in Figma, not XD. It'll be featured the key pages you outlined in your wireframe. So it's going to be 30%. It's not 20, it's 30%. So I do have to update this. And when it's updated, I'll let you know. Okay. And I'll put slash whatever so it's not the thing. Okay. That's your big project coming up. So let's kind of spearhead that going forward. Give me the group names and you guys can start that as soon as you like to. In the meantime, there's one more assignment I'm going to have you do. Before you do this, you can do that one. It's the interactive UI kit for desktop portfolio site. This should help you with your portfolio that you're doing right now. Okay. Because look, whether you're using like, I don't know, even if you're using like some people use Wix.com and these other template websites and stuff. Once you have like an idea of your layout, you can transfer this to HTML and other means as well. So this is your website kit handout, UI kit assignment handout. And you can download this and read it better, okay? But I'm just going to quickly go over it. So for this assignment, you'll be designing a variety of visual design components, and you can do a layout of the website, like I said, for your portfolio desktop website. Although you might not use every asset in your HTML version, it will still communicate a strong visual presentation. This is a very important and crucial step as it will pave the way for a successful user interface design for your desktop prototype. Follow these criteria steps below to meet the project expectation. So I want to see a rough draft. I want to see like you sketching out a rough draft. You can do a wireframe in Illustrator or Figma if you show me. And a good draft, based on your rough draft, you will then create a full rendered design which captures the color elements, interactive behaviors, the layout basically of the entire UI kit, how you implement the UI kit on your desktop website, okay? This might also include portfolio thumbnails, like little thumbnails of your portfolio, other elements which will contribute to your website. And this will be done again in Figma, okay? And this is 10%. That's correct. This is due in 2 weeks, okay? So this is due July 24th. Or does it say 14th? July 24th. Wednesday, July 24th, 2 weeks. Now, I got a lot of examples to show you what other students did, okay? So you're gonna see some really cool stuff I collected over the years. Hopefully I have some more recent stuff from the last cohort, okay? And yeah, so this is, like I said, class number 9, okay? So this is, there's 2 XD files that we're gonna convert them to Figma. So that's why I'm gonna create the Figma files and upload them in these locations here, okay? So basically, if I just download this file here, just quickly download it. And I'll do this one here as well. Any questions about these projects and assignments? Right. And any questions from the people at home? Right. I think these are very just simple little exercises that I built. And like I said, we're gonna mirror these in Figma. Okay, so we're not gonna worry about XD from now on. That was the last assignment you got from the one that's due today. However, the samples that I'm gonna show you are done in XD because I was teaching the students XD at the time, right? So you're gonna see a little bit of XD and Figma together. I think this is, yeah, these are very rough, simple little document files that we're working with. Like I said, I'm gonna put some nicer files in here for you to work with, okay? All right, so I'm gonna close down the XD and go to my folder here. And let me show you some samples first of some students. You get some inspiration. So I'm gonna go to my 24 folder. This is the portfolio finals. Okay. And some of these are Figma files. You can see some Figma files here already. Let's find some better ones here. Do you want to see the group app first, or do you want to see the desktop portfolio? The desktop first? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. This is how the thing was laid out. The actual she made a PDF file of her file structure. Okay. I'm gonna go to drafts here. Now, please remember, you're not doing this whole project. You're just doing the main page, okay? So what I'm gonna show you here is a full project, hopefully, probably, because that's what they had to do for me last semester. This is all done in Figma. Okay. So they did a mobile app and a website app. Okay. They did a desktop version and a mobile version of their portfolio, right? So, like I said, I'm not gonna give you guys that. You're gonna just do a nice little desktop design, and you get to do the app with the group project. Okay. And if you want to do this for your own sake, go ahead. I mean, you can mess around with it because once you make the desktop, you can just make it mobile, right? Just resize it. So let's look at the portfolio, the home page first. Okay, so we're gonna go press play. Okay, so there's right here. This is the home page. So there's the nice rollover buttons on the top here. There's the buttons. So if you click on About, it goes to the About page, right? You click on the portfolio page. All right. And the portfolio page, you can click on different portfolio pieces. There's the press kit, user persona. I always encourage students to use, projects that are also in the UX UI class. Um, and then basically, if you click on the contact page, this is the contact page. But see, you guys are only going to do the home page, but you're going to scroll down more. You're going to make it a nice scrollable web page. Okay. Put as many thumbnails. You can make like a one page website. Okay. I think you did that in Photoshop last semester too. Okay. I'm going to show you another. Let me show you the mobile version too. So this is the. So look, the mobile app she did with this one as well. Let me show you another one. It's maybe a better example that captures everything. There's a sitemap again. This is again now, they had to do a sitemap for me for the portfolio, but you have to do a sitemap for your group project. Okay. So don't worry about the sitemap. That's for the other project. Okay. But this is what a sitemap looks like. Okay. Very simple, design of this stuff. Okay. And this is all done in Figma, of course. Okay. Sitemap. And then there's the portfolio website. Graphs again. My chair is squeaking so much. So this is like the home page. This is the components. These components were used in conjunction with the actual home page and the rest of the pages, right? So if you want to do something like this and then throw that onto the main page, that's fine too. You can kind of mix it up for me. Then you have the about page. Then you have the artwork page, poster design, print material, digital artwork. Okay, so all the pages are there. Okay. You can do as much as you want. If it's gonna help you for your design or your portfolio, you can go all out. But honestly, I don't want to burden you with too much work. Do a nice design on the home page with the assets, okay? So if you want to throw some UI kit elements, I want to see some of this stuff in there, that'll be fine too. Okay. And you can show me things like rollovers and basic switches and buttons and stuff. And the main thing is to understand how to build a proper desktop wireframe or a desktop prototype. So I press the play button. So this works here. Start one. I want to do a preview. So these are rollovers, you see. When you do a website, when the mouse rolls over the buttons, they highlight, right? On a mobile app, it's not necessary because you're tapping the button. But on a website, you have rollovers because you're using your mouse cursor. So please remember the difference of interaction between a desktop website and a mobile app or a tablet. So when they did a desktop website, they would obviously do rollovers. And if you click on About Me, it goes to the About Me page, right? And there's the portfolio page, there's the resume page. And yes, you can download the resume. You can go next, previous, like a little carousel, right? Showing the website. You can do a contact page. Back to the portfolio to show you how this works as well. Nice subtle rollovers. You see how they highlight lighter, darker, right? I like sometimes when students do grayscale to color, that's a nice rollover too. You can't do too much, like that, this, or the other thing, basically, right? You can do a screen, like a color drops down or something. So these are nice little simple interactions. If you click on this, it opens up the actual design. And of course, next goes next and next, right? So you can see different parts of the portfolio, little buttons, like a little carousel to show the portfolio design, right? And that's the poster design. Back to portfolio. That's the magazine design, I guess. You can see next, next, next. I believe you guys are doing similar things, right? The way you're setting up your stuff. Back to portfolio. This is the digital art. Next. If you have some other skill sets, I would like to have it in there. Perhaps you're a painter, or maybe you're a sculptor. Maybe you're a 3D design artist. You can put all your creative work, not just graphic design, right? Because the creativity has a lot of different areas. So this was a nice little prototype to show you how he did a very simple, nice job doing that stuff. And yes, there was a mobile version as well, I think he did, right? But what you're doing is for your desktop is just a very simple thing. See what Arshdeep did. Arshdeep. Sure. Any, go ahead. Uh, Apparently, yes, there is, but it's very buggy and troubleshooting like. Yeah. XD, same thing. You got to download plugins, right? Or widgets that will help you capture this into that. I think in the next short while or a year or two, they might perfect it. So that would be a dream come true. You build a website in Figma or XD even. Yeah. And I can see that happen because of the complexity of Figma. Since last year, 2023, okay, they introduced a lot of variables and components, properties, and they really get into the whole, it's like using Flexbox, with CSS and HTML. They're integrating similar technology. So what that means is if they can basically implement it in a prototype, to translate that into code should be easy because you're doing all the mechanical work in the application. You're just telling it to code it now. Whereas before, I can understand how it didn't work because it's very basic: image, text, heading, carousel, buttons. The HTML and CSS will be like, what kind of model do you want to use? Div tags, Flexbox, want to use Bootstrap? What kind of stacking system are you making? What kind of responsive thing are you doing? It doesn't know. And for you to tell it, it's way more complicated. But the way I see the application developing its more advanced capabilities, it'll be easier for it to have that one-stop solution to export to HTML, CSS. So to answer your question, I can see it coming very soon. I'm hopeful, right? And yes, it will get a lot of developers upset. But I still encourage you to learn. Let's say that happens tomorrow. You still have to go to CSS and HTML to edit your content. Make the heading bigger, smaller, control your font size, color, placement elements. Look, even WordPress websites that I built, for me, it's fast and my clients can do CMS on them. It's easy. Even when I use my builders, like whether it's, what's that one? Divi and Elementor, right? You still have to use CSS and HTML to properly optimize the design. So knowledge is power, guys. The more you learn HTML, maybe you're not like it that much, but it's good to know because you can definitely be more of an asset working on these things. So please remember that, and I always encourage you to uh, learn more and more. This is Arsteep's website. Oh, this is what I'm, so this is like a one page. This is the landing page basically. So if you kind of do this, you can see how the landing page is built, right? See? Logo design, media kit, merchandise design. There's a little plus button, right? About, contact, other, right? You get a little plus button back and forth. So he's showing different ways of presenting the website, right? And the logo goes back to the home page. Okay, so this is a nice little design, clean design you can do. Right. So this is for the desktop project. Just build a website. Like today, we're gonna make one from scratch. I'm not just gonna. Usually, I show you how to do it, right? So we're gonna do a little nice, clean design. I'll come up with a, we can even copy something that's already there and redo it. If you want to reverse engineer something, that's fine too, right? I can have multiple ways of doing this. All right, so that's pretty much that. So now let me show you um, some of the group projects for the mobile app. You want to see that now? This way we kind of see everything from a bird's eye view and know the expectations of what's going to come in the next weeks. So for that one, I'm going to turn my attention to the group mobile projects. Now, bear in mind, this is done in Adobe XD, okay? But the other one you saw in Figma. So for us, it's reversed. We're using Figma and Figma, okay? XD was used for the past. Yes, correct. Because it's kind of the thing now, Figma is becoming a more popular choice. I want to make sure you're equipped to use that skill for the industry when you get a job. And when you finish school, you're still gonna maybe forget a few things. You always practice, right? Once you learn XD and Figma, it's easy to kind of go between the two. So let's look at the cocktail app group project. Okay. So this is the group info. There was Zhao, Rian, Abdullah, and I think Karam helped as well. There was 3, 4 people in this one. This was the sitemap. Okay. This was the wireframe. Okay. And this is the information. So research. Okay. So if I want to, the app is designed to be a comprehensive platform for cocktail enthusiasts, offering a wide range of features to support users in their exploration and enjoyment of mixology. Its primary functions include recipe database, interactive features, personalization, community engagement, education and learning, demographic, and user. So they did a little research on the app, what it's going to do. We should give this to the LCBO people that are on strike right now, right? Because they're striking about this stuff. All right. So this is what they gave me, and I think Zhao was in charge of this particular part. So one of your team members is in charge of that, and the other team members is in charge of something else. But they can all collaborate and help each other. You have to communicate. You can't just say you do this, I do this. You can do majority of it, but I'm also going to help you. You know what I mean? It's going to be like back and forth, but one person has to be responsible. It's like you're appointing somebody to be responsible, but that person also works with the team to get it done. Now this is the file. Again, Figma XD doesn't matter. This is, in this case, it's the XD file. For you, it's going to be Figma. And this is designated as a flow, which means it starts here. Okay, so I'm going to press the play button, and here it is. It's called Bartender, right? Bartender, right? Username, password, connect. So if you click on the username, they did a little thing where you click and it fills up the fields. That's just extra work, okay? And then you do password, then you do connect, and it goes to the actual app, and you can scroll down. You can make this like your favorite or not your favorite, things like that you can make. You can scroll this way. So you're scrolling, like you're swiping. If I show you this on the phone, it's going to be better. You can actually I actually do open these on my phone. I can download them and open it, but I can't show you on the screen. That's why I'm using my computer. But basically, this works very nicely and flawlessly on a mobile device, okay? Because you're going to make it for the latest version of the iPhone X15 model, which is suitable with the Android model as well. So basically, here's your app. You can see here different things. Look, there's the things on the bottom here, okay? This is your home page. This is the community, okay? So then this is the actual discover, okay? Then you have the favorites and you have the settings, right? The settings for the app. So if you go to the account settings, this is your account settings, right? You don't have to have everything clickable, but do the best to make it as authentic as possible, right? And then you have the settings here, oh, account, right? Then you have manage the fridges, about, right? One thing I can criticize this app, although I can see it on my screen, you can't see it, it's too bright. The icons are very hardly visible. Do you notice that? It's very faded. And that was my comment to them, guys, like make it more vivid, like put some more contrast in there. It's just the, especially when people can't see too much, right? This is like the settings here too. I don't think it works. But if you click on one of these thumbnails, it goes through the gallery of different images. So let's say we click on this cocktail. It's called a strawberry daiquiri. It shows you, the difficulty, two levels of difficulty, the ingredients, the time to make is 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, it gives you instructions, and you can basically mark as brewed, buy ingredients. Oh, look at that! It takes you to a website to buy the ingredients in case you're missing some strawberries in your fridge. So you can just put a link to go to Google to buy ingredients. And the other one is rate the recipe. So you can rate it maybe, whatever stars you want. So you can kind of have a cool little integration and you can make it your favorite or not your favorite on your app. Okay. So I think it was a very creative approach to this project. The group did a great job. And there's more to this. I mean, I can show you, this one here. This is called Raspberry Bellini. There's another drink they did, Pina Colada, of course, as you know. This is the Maracuchinga. Not familiar with that one. Okay. Moscow Mule. Okay. There's the Pecoca Brew. There's the Cosmopolitan. There's the Coco Cabana. Oh, Copa Cabana almost. There's the Mimosa. And there's the French. I mean, they're all basically linkable, right? So they did a good job displaying different drinks, different things. So you can see how many pages they have there, right? And going home again, you can see here, once you produce the pages, every one of these, executes the link as well. Okay. Well, you can just actually make them your favorite or not. And that goes to the pina colada. Understanding tutorials, tips, and stuff you can read, right? So honestly, if you look at this on your phone, it looks pretty cool for a prototype. So do as best as you can to make a prototype for an app. All right. Let me show you I'm not going to show you all 15 because that's going to eat up a lot of our time in class, but I'll show you a few. Next week, I'll show you a few more. How does that sound? Okay. Just to keep you more engaged. So that was one app there. This app is called Design Moose. Okay. There's an even better. I like it when students give me a video of how the app works. Because if I'm a customer, I don't know where to click. Maybe I'm not familiar with their design. So let me watch a tutorial on how it's done first. So if I see the video here, you can see there's an MP4 of how this app works. And the students did a recording of them showing me how the app works. So there's the app called Design Moose. I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching the video. And they're doing all the work for me, right? Got different locations. Okay. But now if I show you the actual work that's included, this is the PDF. This is the research statement. So they talked about the team members. They talked market research. They talked about competitive analysis. They talked about target audience analysis. They talked about industry trends. Okay. They talked about business model analysis, regulatory and legal considerations, findings. Okay. Demographics of designers and expectations. Demographics of designers and expectations, part two, and it keeps going, basically, right? Did a lot of work. There's a lot of research was done. So good on them. This is the wireframe. Okay. It was a PDF wireframe they did. Probably did this in Illustrator, right? But then reproduced it in XD. This is the low fidelity wireframe. I want to see this stuff too. I want to see this. I'm like, okay, that's how they got the idea. Put the logo, put this there, put the buttons, the thumbnails, you know, the boxes represent imagery. So this is the sketch design, right? And then finally, they gave me the Figma, or in this case, the XD file. So if I open that up, I should see a fully functioning app. Okay, so there's the file itself. So I'm going to press the play button here, and you can see this app work nicely. Push to start. Okay. The X usually goes back. So there's packaging, products, user experience. I guess they want you to sign up. That's the whole thing. So you sign up, and then you go to the actual thing here. Tasks, services, my profile. There's the profile. You can change the security, password, payment, promos, and stuff. Right? Um, just play this one part here. Milo, $85 an hour. There we go. All these are all people in the class. They use them as featured designners, right? And they made different type of designers here for this here. Oh, they even put my stuff from my website here. I forgot about all this too. Okay, so you have different designers, right? Oh, it goes back to me again. Okay. So basically, based on the graphic, so obviously it's a design app for freelancers, right? They call it Design Moose. So if you're looking for people that can do advertising, they give you like freelancing, right? Online. That's what the app does. So well done. I think it's overall nicely done, and they do a different type of interface for different things. All right, and I think maybe we'll do one quick one, and then we'll get started. Banking app. How boring is that? I'm kidding. Banking app is fun, actually. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. They did do a user persona. Not bad. You can do another user persona. If that's part of your research, that's fine. Give me a user persona, right? They did the actual thing in Illustrator. So they used Illustrator for their wireframing. That's fine, acceptable, no problem. But as long as you give me the Figma full prototype design, that's what I want to see. Prototype can be done anywhere. I know that some people feel more comfortable using different programs for the. This is the research analysis, and this is the mobile skeleton design. If you see here, it's nothing but wireframe stuff, just to show you what that looks like. Okay. Image, company name, image, lorem ipsum. Okay. Lorem ipsum, lorem ipsum. They could have put sign in, login, dollar. But you see how it's like wireframe basically? Okay. So that was all done from scratch, and it showed me different wireframe artboards that will help them designing the app. So this was done obviously in XD. And lastly, I'll show you the fully rendered prototype. Okay. Zolly Financial. Okay. So this is the actual final product. Okay. So you sign in, this is your thing, username, password, log in, sign up. If you're not a member, sign up. If you're a member, log in. You always have to present. It's important you put that screen because every app has some kind of a sign in, login type of attribute. So once you do that, you click on login and you're inside the page. This is like a banking app. So you do have your checkings account, savings account, credit card, and your TFSA. So you can see different parts of this app work the way it is. You have transaction history, account details, very similar to like a real looking banking application. You have transactions, you have money transfer, you have deposit. You can do like take a picture of your check. You can take a picture of the back of the check. You can do different type of integration. Tap to deposit. Congratulations. Continue. The money's in the bank. Go back to the main page, right? It's a cool little thing how they even did a little two-part thing here. Oh, there we go. So you can actually navigate with other marketing features that the banks always offer. There's of course the hamburger menu. Okay, so that creates different links. You want to pay bills, you click on pay bills. You want to do, let's say, contact us. Okay, call, chats, email, support, right? Then you want to go to, let's say, this last one here, log out, ABM locator. There's the map integrator thing, right? So you can locate the nearest bank teller machine to take out money if you need cash. So they did a good job overall. Okay, I like how they built the whole thing from scratch. And you can see another type of example of this group project. Okay. To be honest with you, a lot of the feedback I got from my students doing this was they had a lot of fun. And they actually showed this on their portfolio night. I don't know if you guys, some of you were there. I noticed even last semester when I first met you, my Photoshop class, a lot of them had this stuff on their table. They had the app and stuff. They had a lot of stuff they printed and things like that, right? So it's good to you for you to show people that, hey, look, I could build an app prototype in a group, and these are my members, and this is what we did. Okay, so again, that's going to be done in Figma, okay? And I'm fully confident that we're going to get there with what stuff I'm going to show you anyways, right? So does that a good way to get your appetite, for this? So let's get started now. Do you want to keep going and just finish earlier today instead of taking a break? Keep going, right? Yeah. Well, let's do it. Okay. So basically, I'm going to go right into Figma right now. Okay. I'm going to ask you to join me. So open Figma with me, please. Right. So we're going to create like an actual homepage right now for our website. Okay. From scratch. And we're going to, of course, reiterate and review some of the important aspects of the application, as well as some new stuff that you're going to learn as we go through the weeks. I'm going to teach you new things and more advanced things every week, okay? The application really grew a lot since the last time, so it's really nice to see all these different technical stuff. Get my cable. Second here is power. All right, so now that we're in Figma, let's start up with a fresh new file. Okay, so we're going to go to the home page. You can also go to the little internet icon. I don't know if you see that. There's a little plus icon on the top left corner, which gives you an option to create a new design file, a new FigJam board, or a new slide deck. I was exploring the slide deck feature earlier. It's like creating an actual presentation, which is kind of cool. Nothing that we're gonna use it for this semester. FigJam board, if you have access to it, that's great. This is how you can kind of jam with your, groups and stuff and sessions. We'll explore that a little later. But for now, I want to keep it simple, and we're going to work with a new design file. So click on the new design file. You're going to start with a nice blank canvas. I remember watching a conference on Figma in Los Angeles, and they were asking people dark or light theme, dark or light theme. It's a preference. Some people went light theme, some people went dark theme. A lot of developers like the dark theme. A lot of designers like the white theme. So it's everybody's different preference. So whatever your preference is, you can change it here under preferences and theme, light or dark. Okay. I'll stick with the dark theme. It's got nice contrast, but it doesn't matter what I like, is what you can see better. So what do you guys, any preference, or you're okay with the dark theme? Dark theme? If you want a light theme, I can switch it to the light theme. It's okay too. All right. Now, I would like to see what you see on your screen, because I have a different membership level than you with Figma. So I want to see if you're missing a few buttons and tools. I know you're limited to one project or two at a time, only three, and that's all you need, really. You don't need more than that. If you want to pay the money and get the membership, become a professional, then yeah, then you can build as many you want. It's only $20 a month, whatever the membership is. It's not that expensive. Buy like Chick-fil-A costs $20. Right? There you go. It's done. Right? So let's see. Okay. There's message here. Very good. Okay, perfect. How did you open those? That's in all libraries. Yeah. Okay. Good, good. I want to make sure you can access that too. Before I venture into this, I was really keen on looking at your screen to see if I see layers and assets. This is how you can access a lot of cool things with the Figma community. Okay. So if you click on browse assets, do you see that anywhere? Browse assets. I'm going to type in icons. There's like a search icon bar, right? So if you type in anything that you want, Figma will find it for you. It's like using that, icon website. What's the name of it again? The Vecteezy? That's for logos. Anyways, there's a lot of websites that provide you icons and different flat icon. That's the one. Yeah, that. So I'm looking for a like icon, right? And sure enough, there's something like that available, right? Or just icon in general. Okay. So you can find stuff with the search engine. There's also, do you guys see three things like Material 3 Design Kit, Simple Design System, iOS 18 and iPad OS 18? Which one do you see? You don't see any of these? Okay. You did see what OS 18 though, right? You had the OS. Which one? Which one do you have though? You don't have the thing? Explore libraries? Do you have the Explore Libraries button? Okay. So do me a favor, see if you can access some stuff, not now, later, play with it a bit more. I just want to make sure what access limitation you have. Knowing that, don't worry, because even if you go to the internet, there's a lot of stuff you can get on websites. Download stuff and bring it, copy and paste the icons. If you guys want to, know what happens? And what happens if you click on it? Oh, that's the one, yeah. Libraries, right? We just see there too. Yeah, but yeah, so it is there. Just open the little triangle. Oh, maybe change, click on this little one. That's, yeah. Okay. It just, mine's more visual because I already got it. Yeah, it says it's the same thing that I have. Okay. It is the same thing. Mine looks more visual. Yours is more like a point. Okay, so good, you have it. Okay, excellent. Okay. So again, let's not worry about that for now. We can always revisit that. But if that's gonna help you guys copy and paste some icons and some stuff, or to get some ideas, there's your kind of community files. It is there, so there's no point hiding it from you because it's right in the application. Stick to layers for now, okay? Let's go to layers. This is page number one. Page number one is usually what you want to start with. You're going to do a whole project in page one with multiple frames. If the project becomes very, very big, you might consider doing page two for a different variation of that project. You might do like a light theme and a dark theme, 2 pages. Get it? So it's up to you to designate those sections. Another example would be this. Page one could be maybe a desktop website. Page two could be a mobile website or mobile app, I should say, right? So that's how you can create pages. How do you delete pages? You can click on add a page, right? Or delete a page, okay? Delete a page, right click, add a page, plus button. XD doesn't have pages, okay? Figma does have pages, which gives you a lot more compatibility. Like, I don't know if you used Excel. Do you use sheets in Excel? Excel has sheets. It's like pages. You can do different sheets. Again, I hardly use sheets because I don't do that much work in Excel. But if you have to create different portions, you could. All right. I went over the tools last week, so I'm not going to go over and bore you guys all over again with that. Please watch last week's lesson, especially the second part. I did cover some of the very basics. So today we're going to explore some of the more advanced stuff, and we're doing a desktop, not a mobile example. So therefore, we did talk about the frame tool and the section tool. Section tool is really miscellaneous. You don't have to really use it unless you have a section of, let's say, a UI kit, and you can implement that in your frames. The frame tool is the most, I repeat, the most important tool in Figma. Without the frame tool, you can't really do much because the frame tool gathers all your information. It creates the artboards. It creates the advanced components. It creates the buttons. It creates a lot of things. You can put frames inside frames, right? So that's just basically how this whole system works. It's built in frames. Remember the shortcut F is for frames, okay? Then of course comes the objects. You can draw a lot of different shapes and stuff to help your design. Of course, you have the drawing tools, you have the type tool, and you do have some more advanced things like components, plugins, and widgets, which we can use, okay? And that's something we'll use later on, not today. And you do have like the hand tool and the chat bubble. That's your main tools. Your properties are on the right-hand side. So whatever you select, this will change like the font size, the font style, the tracking, the leading, the kerning. All the stuff will show up based on what you're selecting. So since we're doing a web page to start with, let's start with the frame tool F. And right away, we don't have to draw anything. We just look over here and we select a different page. So we're not doing a phone. We're not doing a tablet. We're doing a desktop. And yes, yes, we could do a presentation, an iWatch. You can do paper, enough, but why the heck would they do paper? They want to take over the world, these guys. They think they can do like a magazine in here. Let's forget InDesign. Come on. I mean, these guys think they can do like, look, a letter tabloid size, right? They can social media. You can create actual social media posts and stuff. So they're really kind of trying to up their game. Figma community, archives. You can really do some cool stuff. And so it's don't just think mobile and tablet and desktop. You can do some really cool stuff in Figma and create some designs for various forms of communication. So let's stick with desktop because we're doing a desktop website for your portfolio website that you're doing. And we're gonna do MacBook Pro. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do. I like 1414 by. I like the middle desktop, so I'll go with desktop. Desktop. That's gonna be my choice. You can do the same if you prefer something else. By all means, it's okay. As you know, there's different Why there are different sizes? Anybody have a good question? Why is there like 1280, 1512, 1440, 1920? Why different sizes? That's right. The resolution is a factor, the graphics card on your computer, and what the capacity can handle, the retina display, and all this other different visual mediums, right? So that's why it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as it fits one of those requirements, most chances are you're good to go. So let's go to desktop. This is going to be your desktop website. Let's get familiar with the shortcuts. Command minus is zoom in, Command plus is zoom out. If you do zoom in a lot, if you press Shift 1 or Shift 2, it'll zoom into the page, okay? So that's pretty much how that works, okay? I do have the desktop selected. Well, how do I know? Because it clicked on the top left corner, and also see the page 1 has my desktop placed inside page 1. If you want to rename it, you could. You can just call it, main page, okay? And now notice how the name reflects the top corner to change it to the main page. Okay, thank you. All right, now we're good. Because I have the main page artboard selected, all my settings and preferences on the right side here are catering towards that type of scenario. So I do have the frame size, which is the 1440,024, which is the desktop. Clip content. What that means is that if you put anything outside the artboard, it'll clip it. Remember, like Illustrator, you can put stuff outside the artboard, half and half, it'll show you. So this basically eliminates that from happening. Good to know, because this can come very handy when you're doing things like a carousel or something out. It's like a mask. Once it's on, it's masking everything that's outside. Just to show you an example, I will create a rectangle tool that does this. This rectangle would be red. Bright red. You can see, because I have my artboard set to clip content, you can see the rest of this rectangle, right? It's hiding, right? Once I take off clip content, and to do that, I gotta click on the desktop. The best way to click on the top left corner. If I turn this off, look at this. Now it's like showing me not clipped content. So I would suggest you leave it on for now, and later on you can show on and off or toggle it on and off when you need to. So I'm going to leave it on for now. Okay. Clip content. Other important things that you should note when you're doing this. Again, this goes for mobile and desktop, by the way. But since we're focusing on desktop, I'll stick to those parameters. Auto layout is a very cool feature, because what it lets you do is basically when you resize, and I would use auto layout within frames. It creates a better environment for you to stack your layouts better, like images, text, combination of icons. So if you do happen to resize them or relocate them, it gives you a better view. So I'm going to get into that a little later. It does get a little advanced and stuff. So, for example, auto layout is not an XD. It's a Figma thing. See what I mean? So Figma has a lot more little features than XD does. Okay, so it's really cool how auto layout works. Well, since I'm talking about it, let me just quickly show you. So I'm going to go ahead and create another artboard here, like a frame. So I have a frame inside a frame right now, right? Frame inside frame, and you can move the frame around. I'm going to make this fill color here very simple. I'll change the color to something else, right? Great, yeah. Because it's like you're nesting a group of elements inside such an artboard. They just kept it really simple, right? So this frame now can become what's called auto layouts. Because you can't, I mean, you could do auto layout with multiple shapes too. Let me show you the difference here, because they both kind of can work. Let me do a rectangle. I'll paint this one like red. I'll draw a polygon. blue, and a circle. Okay. Right? I mean, ultimately, you can do this. You can select a group of objects and do auto layout as well, right? And now this becomes now part of the auto layout group also. So if you do this, oh, let me see here. If you click on this left arrow, that means the auto layout will stay fixed or constrained to a horizontal layout. But if I click on this wrap option and I target the top left corner, which is the default, what happens is when I do this, the elements wrap that way. It's like doing flex in HTML and CSS, right? And that's how this auto layout feature works. It's kind of cool. I like to use it for like buttons and stuff. I'll show you another example later when we make like buttons, like in the next week or two, when we do more advanced stuff with interaction. But for now, just so you know what it does, it just creates a better layout form for this stuff. I don't know, to be honest with you, I didn't have to do this. I could have done it just with the objects. If I right click, I can also ungroup the selection. Okay, so then becomes they take themselves. It's a group and ungroup, right? So the way I took out the auto layout, I destroyed it. I think it's called something else though. The terminal. It's not an auto layout. It's the. I know. I kind of like the XD feature too because it tiles automatically bottom and top. It's cool. It's just different. Different, yeah, different for sure. So now let me just show you how this frame and a frame thing works. If I put these on top of this and this here and these here, this frame now captures these elements. You see how they're nested inside this frame and layout? I'm going to resize this closer here. So if I click on this frame and I make this auto layout, it kind of did the same thing, right? It created an extra box of an attribute. It's like a box in a box, you know what I mean? And if I go do the return thing, it will do the same thing this way. So you can do auto layout from frames or from objects on a frame. Okay. I'm going to delete it for now, just to understand what it is. So next thing is layer. As I mentioned last week earlier, you can pass through different, it's like Photoshop. You can do like light and darken different modes. I have nothing selected now, so I'm not going to show you. This is the fill color, the default way of white. You can do stroke effects and export. So this is basically features of your desktop site. Um, see here. Right. This is a little tricky. That's why I had to kind of do it first to show you. So if you watch very carefully, do you see something called layout grid? Yes. Okay. A layout grid by default, it gives you a grid, like you know, for most design applications, and you can select the grid size to be, let's say, in this case, um, I'll click on, let's say, I don't know, maybe I'll make it 50 pixels, right? And you can see how it's red and it's got the checkers. Let me make this 100%, right? Can you see that? Can you see the green, the red checkers across, or the red grid, I should say? Okay. Well, how about if you don't want to do a grid? We can change it here and select columns. You can also select rows. Now, rows are really not that used, but columns are very popular with designers. So if you're doing a desktop website, if you remember from last semester in Photoshop, we made a 12 column grid. Remember that? Sorry, 12 column guide layout. This way, because 12 is a good common denominator to divide things, like you can do 3 and 3. Sorry, 3 times 4 is 12. 6 plus 6 equals 12. 4 times 3 is 12, and so on and so on. So that's why we would do something like the count will be 12, right? And we can also do a different color. I would do like a very, very light color so you can like barely see it. This can help you. This will aid you into the designing of the website, right? So I'm going to do a color like that. You can also do a gutter. You can also do margins. Okay. I did the margin of 50. So that means there's 50 pixels from the left and 50 pixels from the right. And you can do what's called a stretch. You can do center, okay? You can do right, left, right? I think the best one to use is the stretch because the stretch is evenly across the whole page, okay? So basically, you want to just fiddle around with this until you get it perfect. But these are the settings that I do. Just remember, when you activate the grid, because I was looking for columns initially, I was like, where's the columns? Well, it doesn't just say that. You have to look for it. So you pick the grid, then you switch it to columns. You understand? So you switch one to the next, you can basically get your layout columns situated like you would on a website. And the margins are set up 50. The gutter is the space between the columns, which is 20 pixels. And of course, you have all these visible attributes, right? You can basically, control the visibility and stuff like that. Right, so now that we have that all set up, we're ready to start designing our page. So we're gonna start off with like a main menu on the top, okay? We're gonna start off with a nice like an image design, and we're gonna start with some content just to keep it nicely dressed up. So we have a basic page. So for that, we'll need some of the other elements, okay? So we're gonna use a lot of, I guess, a box type of design scenario. I'm gonna use the rectangle tool right here. I'm gonna go right from the top corner all the way across, like this. And the height for this will be 150 pixels. Okay. And the fill will be nice and blue. Blue is nice. It's easy on the eyes. I'm going to go with a nice blue color here. Let's just go back to the columns for a second. I know they're 100%. So if I want to see these things not so abruptly to distort my vision and design, I'm gonna go 20%. As you can see, they're still visible, but they're not really abruptly distracting me, right? And honestly, when you're ready to, you can also hide them and show them with the visible tool. It's just a guide. Remember that. No one's gonna see this but you, the designer, okay? So I'm just gonna hide and show this. And like I said earlier, I reduced the opacity to 20%. Okay, very good. So next thing you know, we'll add a series of buttons going across. That could be like maybe a banner going across or some kind of another attribute. I can even look at it like any website and mimic the actual design. Maybe I'll do another bar over here. So let's do another rectangle and going across the page here. And the height for this one will be 50 pixels. Right. I'm gonna have some multiple text elements to like buttons for in this case that will illustrate the links that I'm gonna have. If it's a portfolio website that I'm designing, I'm gonna put like maybe 4 or 5 different links. Maybe my social media icons might go up here. The different ways to set this up. So basically, I'm gonna go use the type tool. I'm gonna click here and start typing things like home, right? And I can do individual buttons, and that'll help me kind of situate them in different areas. Don't forget when you select the text options are on the right, change to the settings. So you can basically select the font size. So I'm going to go nice and big, like 20, maybe 24 points. So it's quite visible. We'll select the bold font. Okay. Look at all the different font variations you have. It goes in value, eh? From what was from 100 to 900 or something. But this you can do in like bold, semi-bold, light italics, and that kind of stuff. I'll go with medium for now, right? Place the home button over here. It doesn't matter how this is set up because at the end of the day, this will be a nav bar. It's not part of your, well, it is kind of your layout, but it's your navigation. So you're going to design this any way you see fit. So basically, I'm gonna go Option drag Shift. Okay, you can also do I'll drag on a PC, right? Oh yeah, watch this. Step and repeat, baby. It works. I love it. XD, I think XD doesn't have step and repeat. Command D, Command E, sure? I think it just duplicates, doesn't do step and repeat.
Shift and
Maybe there's another shortcut for yes. I love step and repeat, right? Because what I'm gonna do here is type in biography, and maybe I'll use lowercase buttons just to make it more kind of, you know, different looking, right? This will be my portfolio. This will be my creative. I might have some other creative work I want to show, not just my portfolio. And this will be my contact page. So I'll have 5 different links for my portfolio website, right? And these 5 links will be all distributed evenly, maybe close to the right or to the middle of the page, depending on how I want to do this. Look, it's giving me what's called a smart guide. Look at this, 41 pixels for all of them. Let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say you were having this here, this over here, right? It's all over the place, right? What you can do, another thing is you can control, by the way, look how smart I'm going to approach this, like any other design application. I'm going to lock this and this so I don't accidentally disrupt it when I'm working with selecting menu items. So I'm going to select those 2 boxes and literally I'm going to go and lock them up. So from now on, I can't really select anything unintentionally, right? So I'm going to select all my menu items that I want, go over here, and if you look at here, I can align them all to the left, which of course I'm not going to do that. Center, obviously not. But if you look closely here, distribute horizontal spacing. I love this feature because it'll make them all evenly distributed from one another, right? Because that's a good way to kind of have it aligned, right? And then if I want, I can group them. I can go right click, group selection. And once it's grouped the selection, I can go ahead and do center left, right, or center middle. So you can really do some nice designing things here with very basic knowledge that you already possess, which is using a program like Illustrator and other programs too. All right. Next, we want to put some social media icons up here, our very common social media icons. For that, first I'm gonna save this file. I'm gonna go file, save a local copy. Okay. So I'm gonna go local copy. I'm gonna call this my portfolio.fig. And I'm going to insert some of the social media icons over here, which might be part of my assets. So I'll put social media. Social. Oh, maybe this will be to local. No, doesn't have anything. Okay. No worries. I can easily get these icons off the internet, right? Social media icons. I'm sure there's ways you can get the libraries. Um, Figma icons, right? Of course, if you click on one of these links, you can get a free pack icons to open up. You simply click on the file. Oh, there's the edit button here. Share. Open in Figma. There it is. Now, if you do open it in a browser, it'll open it up Figma on your browser version, right? So right now I have Figma open 2 times. Figma's open in the browser, which is Chrome or Safari or whatever browser you use. And I also have Figma open in on my desktop. You see? So what I have to do is take this information and bring it to over here. I prefer you much more work with a desktop version as opposed to the browser version because it's harder to control and it's better allocated for memory. But anyhow, if we just zoom in very closely here and look for the right icons. Okay, I'm just gonna get any icons for now, okay? You guys can find your, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you guys are into, right? It's called X now, right? Let's just say I want to use this calendar button, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the copy the button here. Maybe I'll use these three. So copy, okay? Figma, paste, okay? Copy and paste. I'm gonna put this icon up here, make it bigger and smaller. I think this is like a vector file, so I have to literally, and be careful when you get these icons because some of them have programmed interactions, okay? And maybe you don't want that, so I'm just gonna delete the interactions part. But, oh, you know what? Let me just show you another way to do it. Sometimes you got to be careful where you get your stuff from. Um, and you can read the reviews and what people say. Social media icons, right? You can also use these, right? And you can also go SVG. Okay? And you can also download some of these things here. Free pick, right? I've got these ones here. Download, do free download on the desktop. So as you know, I don't mind you doing this for this kind of stuff. I don't expect you to draw a Facebook icon. Like it's a waste of time, right? Just get it online. It's not gonna impress anyone. Like we all know how to make icons and buttons and stuff. So just do your thing. If you have to grab these icons, help yourself, okay? And there's the JPEG file and there's the EPS file. So if I click on the EPS file, I'll just open them up. And to show you how easy it is to import EPS into Figma, it's not. You have to make it SVG. Okay? EPS only communicates with Illustrator. Very quickly, what does EPS stand for? Encapsulated Postscript, which is the printer language for printing. That's why when you print EPS, it's immaculate. That Puma logo on your hat, everything that you see on your hat there, it's EPS. Otherwise, it's not going to print on the embroidery machine. It's not going to print perfect, right? Anyways, let's open this up. You know what also works, I think, well in Illustrator and Figma? Open this up here. Oh, this is Photoshop. Oops. Right click, open with Illustrator. By default, I don't know why it prompted Photoshop, but I will open it up in Illustrator right now. Which class was this? Huh? Okay, so here we go. So Facebook, You might have a YouTube channel. SVG or EPS. But here's the thing, even if it's EPS, if you copy it, if you paste it in here, see, it works. Copy and paste from Illustrator, EPS. Not PNG. Here's the problem. You can't change the color. PNG is PNG, right? That's why you want to stay away from any graphic format. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphic Format. JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Export Group. These are all image formats that are compressed. EPS, pure, 100%. SVG, scalable vector graphics. So you want the vector file, SVG or EPS, okay? I'm just gonna go with, whatever, it's like a darker blue version of this. Now, I'm not gonna scale it. I'm gonna purposely leave it the size. Let me pick the other ones. LinkedIn obviously is a good choice for professional, connections and stuff. So I'm gonna put this here. I don't care about the size right now because I don't want to have to play, catch up later. I'm gonna put them right down here. Make a box here somewhere. Anyways, I'm gonna fix this up in a bit. So we're gonna copy these two. I think there's a clip. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a clipping mask here. So then that means be careful, I guess, when that happens. You know what you do? You go to object, expand. Maybe that'll kind of break it up. It's not foolproof, but let's try it. Copy, paste. Yes, expand it. Expand it before you bring it in. Because if you don't, it's gonna give you this weird looking thing. If it's got a mask and stuff, okay? So please remember that. So having said that, I'm gonna delete these two and bring in my other stuff. I'm just gonna bring in two icons. I don't want to waste any more time on this. So I'm gonna bring in Facebook and LinkedIn, basically, right? So right click, remember, expand. Object expand. Okay. I was looking for the right click menu, but it wasn't there. Okay. Group, paste. Okay. Oh, copy, paste. Okay. You get my idea, right? So you get your social media icons in there. It's gonna fill these up areas. Put them where they belong. And of course, you can put more than two. And you can adjust it to your column width. And again, this doesn't matter when you make the website because you can position these anywhere you want according to your, CSS and HTML. I'll just keep them in the corner for now, and that'll make them like that. Okay. All right. Okay, let's keep going here, basically. So we're gonna create like an actual visual uh, home display page. And you can get some lot of creative ideas online. So don't be afraid to kind of see, what's going on and stuff with creative home pages. Um, you can't reinvent the wheel. Everything that you're probably thinking about, it's probably done already. So if I type in creative home pages, you can see some nice different types of designs that designers do. You can get more visual if you like. You can get less visual. Keep it the minimalist approach. You can do some more extravagant design. You can do some more contrast work, like, stuff like that. I mean, pretty much anything goes, whatever is your style or suits your design. This is more like Shopify kind of look, like a shopping store or something like that, e-commerce website. Pretty much anything you can think of is done. Like even having like a background with a logo in there or an image. Lots of different options, right? Whatever suits you, do your own research and stuff and come up with something creative. I'm gonna keep it simple for now. Okay, we're gonna maybe do, I don't know, something like on this level here. Okay, we'll do that level there. So in that case, I'm gonna maybe place an image and maybe do some background design, some text, maybe a link to go to that particular section. Maybe my portfolio sections can be down here, right? And the menu button stuff. So having said all that, go back to Figma here. You can create that section by using a rectangle tool again. Right. This will be where my image can go of the placement that I want. And notice how this is stretching across the 12 columns. So if I go back again with the rectangle tool, I'm going to count now my other ones here. So it's going to go, if I do, let's say, I'll go all the way to the edge. This way, you can stretch it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Option drag and option drag. So there's your 5. This one can go also to the 4. This one can also go to the 4. Right? So you can do something like that, or you can just make it 4 even blocks if you like. Maybe this might be a better idea. Let me do it this way, actually. Makes more sense. Okay. And this will be maybe a different color. Colors are, important, of course, but for now, I'm just going to use different colors to demonstrate different things. I'm going to copy that green over there as well. So just to keep it more subtle, I'm going to shift select both of these. And I don't know if you know about the eyedropper tool. It's right over here. If you click on it, you can basically go across and pick any pixel of color, and you can just match it accordingly. Okay, so you can do that. If we go back to the main page, you're going to run out of real estate. So guess what? You're going to push it down and make more space available, right? And if you do that, you can also push these elements down as well and give us some space, right? You can even measure the space here, the space there. Review for a second. Rulers. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Figma doesn't have, Exe doesn't have the ruler quite visible like this. You literally have to roll over to the edge to drag a guide. In here, you can actually press view and you can go access the rulers. Okay. No, rulers. It does, but it's like this. Watch, I'll show you. So there's XD, right? So if you go to view, right, the rulers are not quite visible. See? There's no rulers. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can drag it.
I understand, but you can't see the ruler. So, right? So here's the thing. Watch this. XD Figma, right? Figma has the ruler. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do this, but back to Abhinav's point is, look, if you go here, you could drag a guide. You just have to go to the edge. You know what I mean? You can go here and drag a guide too. So you have the guides, but where's the metrics and the rulers and stuff, right? You want to count like 100 pixels. I mean, it'll tell you when you're doing it, look, there's 100 pixels, right? But I kind of, this one has the metrics. You can see the actual rulers here. Like kind of like a design software.
Yeah,
So it is nice how they kind of made the difference between that. Okay. All right. So next, as we keep going here, we're gonna have another section over here for some other areas. Perhaps I'm gonna do another rectangular design tool that goes across all three. What's the height of these? 360. I'm gonna type 360. Oops, actually it's on the height. 361, whatever, that's fine. 361, right? And finally, we'll have like the footer area here. If you want to expand some of your other social media, maybe some other footer elements and stuff, you can definitely do that. I'm going to draw another element that goes across to capture that. And this will be perhaps more on the purple side. Okay. So this is like my wireframe, right? This could be a wireframe. The next thing you want to build is your actual layout of the design of your website. So that's where you put your images, your graphics, your thumbnails, right? So you can do actually a two-page design. And then the UI kit will be implemented based on some of the buttons. So in this case, let's just do a few so we have an idea. So I'm going to press the main page. This will be wireframe. And you can do like a grayscale, doesn't have to be these color combinations. But if I press Command D, I make a duplicate. This could be like my page for my fully rendered versions of designs and stuff, okay? So this box over here that I'm selecting right now, I'm gonna place an image there, okay? And the image I have to maybe, let's just quickly grab something on the internet here. We'll go with city landscape. City landscape, right? I love the city landscape. That looks kind of nice. I'm in Pexels, beautiful website for free stuff. Let's go ahead and save this image quickly. Okay, I'll save it. I'll make a folder for these images here. So Pexels. There's Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash are very common websites for images. So if you're not familiar with them, you can definitely use them to get your free sources, okay? Make sure you help the community by, if you can't donate, just do like a social media plug or something for them or a like, that'll be good. But go back to Figma here. Here's how Figma works. If you have your design elements in place, like this rectangle that I designed for my image placement to take place, all I have to do now is basically click on the fill color, go to either you can do gradient, you can do image, or you can do video. Okay, the videos are cool too if you can get one that's that size. But images will work just fine. You can go choose an image. I'm gonna go to my desktop and go to my Pexels folder and pick this beautiful Pexels image that I found online and use that as my background. And you can control if you want to skip the Photoshop phase, you can control things like exposure, right? Do some basic lighting effects, okay? So contrast and stuff like that. So feel free to navigate through some of the stuff. And then at the end of the day, this picture here is becoming part of this design. Same thing with these image placements too. Okay, you can put pictures in there as well, do different things, put a picture here. Basically, you can design the whole website doing this kind of stuff. Okay. Now this is where the some of the UI kit interaction comes in, because if this is like an image carousel, right? What you want to do is you want to create some buttons that'll illustrate that. And some of the buttons that'll do that, you can make one yourself. I do encourage you to draw maybe not the social media icons, because I don't want you to waste time creating a Facebook icon, but I do want you to waste time to create a nice navigation button. That's kind of cool. So for this one, I'll create like a basic arrow design tool. I'm going to create maybe an elliptical shape. I'm going to draw it outside so I can see it better. I'm going to draw like a simple circle, right? And I'll draw like a simple polygon. It's like an arrow. I'm going to rotate it maybe left or right. So it's going to go do one of these things. I'm going to put this one in here. Perhaps I'll change the color of it, and I will use the eyedropper to match this nice blue, right? So it'll be a nice blue button. Perhaps I'll make it a little smaller looking, so it looks like this. I can make this, give it some kind of a stroke with the drop shadow. We can do different things here, like go to stroke, change the color to the same, I guess, blue. I like Figma because it remembers all the colors that are recently used. So if you want to do color matching, here's your color assets right there. You can definitely do a nice color match, okay? And you can, of course, increase the, well, let me make it this color here. I can increase the stroke weight, of course. So I'll make it,
Add it,
no,
it automatically.
automatically.
Exit
On the, yeah. In XD, you have to make assets.
Yeah, we need to pick every time.
Yeah, and you just add color. I kind of like that because you have more control and you're more, it's a more of a purpose, right? This is more like, how about if you go like 100 colors? Now you got like 100 colors. But you can also go, I think you can edit them or something, right? Anyways, this is your button here, right? I'm gonna go place this button on this side here. But since we're on the topic of buttons and stuff, it's something I'm gonna get into next time. I'm gonna show you something really quickly here. If you look at the top section, you can designate this to serve as different functions. So this button here could be, you can create a component, you can create a multiple component or a component set, okay? Components are things you can reuse. Like remember like the library item that we used last time, like lab symbols kind of thing. This is your oops, mask. You can mask things too, just like a clipping mask in Illustrator. And this is your Boolean effect. Sorry, like union selection. Like we did last week, I remember we did a logo, we punched the letter through the text. We can do stuff like that. Anyhow, what I'm trying to get to you is these are the more advanced features in Figma. So as we progress through the weeks, I'm going to utilize some of these things here to show you how to do more advanced interaction. So in this case, I'll use a component set just to quickly demonstrate how this works. Okay. And what I'm going to do is add another variant. So if I click on this variant button here, okay, it creates a different one, right? Oops. I should have made this group though first. But here, that's fine. I'll just use this color here for now. And what happens is when you create this components, it's how you do your interaction. Now, XD is a little different. It had like a menu here to do your, remember we did clicks and drags and stuff. This is like creates the actual duplicates of the visuals, right? So for this to happen, basically, I mean, you gotta literally, let me just, I don't know why I didn't go here. Whatever, I'll center it, right? So what happens is here, when you do a change, I'm gonna change the color of this to something else. Okay, so it's gonna be, oh, I'll just do this one for now because I don't think I did it properly with my intention here. This is just this basic example. I'll get into the more advanced stuff after. So that's what you can do. You can do different sets, so different like rollovers and stuff. So if this was going to be that particular thing, once I go to prototype, this will serve as that function. So if I grab this and move it to this one, okay, on click, or in this case, I'll do on while hovering. You can do, let's do while hovering, because hovering is like a rollover effect. Change 2, and we'll do property 1, variant 3. Okay, that's fine. Because there's variants, there's ellipse 1, polygon 1, and variant 3. So we'll do variant 3 by default, and that's going to be that. And then that's going to change. And this one's going to go back to that one. I'm just giving you a glimpse of this. Don't worry about doing this for now. Next week, we'll get into the more interactive stuff. I'll have a whole exercise on this, okay? So even me, sometimes I get this mixed up and doesn't really work out because it's very tedious. This is the most tedious part of the software, and I'm going to make sure I deliver it properly. So let's just use this for now. All right, so what happens is now when I go to my assets, this becomes here, local components. There we go. Okay, so there's my component set. I'm going to use it for now. I think I missed a little step. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm going to grab the original that I had, copy it, paste it here. Yeah, I think I've botched this up, guys, to be honest with you. I'm in prototype mode, that's why. Component, right? Oh, huh. Oh, it's weird that I made it. Anyways, we'll get into that another time. I'm going to just keep going here. I'm going to create a, the whole point is to have this button here. Like I said, I'll get it to you guys next time. And we're going to create a nice little navigation button. Because it's supposed to go in this area here. So I'm gonna just do this for now. If you hold shift, this thing's constrained nice and easily. Like that. I'm gonna group it for now. Okay. I think what I did was the mistake I did here was I rushed to make it into a multiple component as or variant as opposed to a single component. So I kind of missed one step, and that's why it's not letting me edit it or drop it in there. So that's why I said when I do this properly with you guys next time, okay, we're gonna do all kinds of different cool things. For now, worry about the layout and the design. Don't worry about the components. That's a separate lesson altogether. It is advanced stuff. So right now I want to focus on design placement using the application. Okay. So let's grab this button here, option, drag it all the way. Okay. Do like a little rotation. There's a duplicate. And these buttons can serve for like carousel things on the website. Okay. So you can have little dots here, whatever you want to do. Okay. So that's how we're going to build this. At the end of the day, you're going to have a nice looking design here with like rollovers. So next week when we do the components, you can do the rollovers, the buttons and stuff, the interactive stuff to make it look like a website. And this communicates with the developer and you're the designer. You're communicating with the web development team and telling them that's what you want on the website. And it's their job to make it happen. They're going to do the HTML, CSS. You as a designer just say, hey, this is what the company wants, right? That's the whole point. And just again, to reiterate some of the other stuff, these images are placeholders. You can put images here. Simply click on the fill option and click on the different types of things. You can do images, you can do videos, and you guys can't do videos, right? Okay, so just do the images for now, right? All in all, it's a great tool, great program, to do layouts, okay? So we covered all the important stuff. Size, uh, 12 column guides, placement holders, images, colors, boxes, nav, buttons, icons, auto layouts. We'll get into a little more of that as we go along. Okay, how helpful can that be with things like the boxes and stuff. So next week we'll focus more on the auto layout and the interactive components. Okay, so you're gonna and behaviors. So you're gonna understand how this stuff can really wield its power. And then the week after that, this is due. So I think that's the two good lessons that you will have the time to complete this. Even next week, I'll give you time to get this done. Okay. All right. All right. So let me quickly do a file save right now. I'll do a local file. Big. This is the portfolio example. All right. And I think we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Let me make sure I still have my online students too as well. I didn't forget about you. It's just I was, if you guys had a question, by the way, please speak up and just comment on anything. I'm happy to take your questions. All right. Hope you had fun. Um, Next week, same time, same place. I want to see you guys show up in person, please. So please make the effort. Okay. And in the meantime, take care. Have a great evening and work on your projects and stuff. And don't forget to hand in your XD assignments tonight. Okay, just do. All right. So having said all that, I'll see you next week. Okay. Bye, everybody. Take care.